Alright, so there's a few other things you can do with your calculator. Another thing we can look at is approximating the solution when the answer isn't a nice clean integer. And you should always check by plugging in to see if you've got a nice integer. So here's an equation. I've got x squared minus 4x plus 1 equals x minus 2. Okay, so we're going to graph this. Alright, same process we used in the last video. So we go to y equals, I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to clear that out. The left hand side, I'll go ahead and do x squared minus 4x plus 1. And then the second one would be x minus 2. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to graph this. Go back to a normal window, zoom 6, right? Now here, there's two solutions, right? Again, I've got a parabola, kind of U-shaped, and a line. So I've got two solutions. Looks like one of them here, 0.73, well, it appears to be between, well, 0 and 1. And the next one appears to be between 4 and 5. Okay? So I know I've got two solutions here, right? I know that one solution is between 0 and 1. And the other solution is between 4 and 5. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my table to kind of investigate these numbers. And it tells me to round to the nearest hundred, so 2 decimal places. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and hit second graph. And this brings up a table. And this lets me verify. You'll see here y1 and y2, right? So y1 is the blue line, y2 is the black line. And you can see y1, 6 is above negative 3, 1 is above negative 2, and then all of a sudden negative 2, is below negative 1. Okay, so we switch somewhere between the x value of 0 and 1, we switched where the blue line is no longer above the black line. Okay, now we can kind of quote unquote zoom in here. We're going to do this by changing our table set. So we go to second, window. And what I'm going to do here is this table start, I'm going to start at 0 because I know it's between 0 and 1. This here where it says TBL, on a TI-84 it says delta table. I'm going to change this and I'm going to make this 0.1. I'm going to go back to my table. Second graph. So now I'm at 0.1 increments, right? And again, I can see here, right? 1 is above negative 2, 0.6 is above negative 1.9, 0.24 is above negative 1.8, negative 0.11 is above negative 1.7, negative 0.44 is above negative 1.6, right? And it's going to switch, okay? And where it switches, it looks really close to the 0.7, right? So negative 0.4 is above negative 1.4, negative 1.31 is above negative 1.3, but negative 1.56 is below negative 1.2, so somewhere between 0.7 and 0.8. So go back to my window, second table set, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to start now at 0.7, and this time I'm going to go by 0.01, and we're going to kind of quote unquote zoom in again. And again, I can see here, now I'm at the nearest hundredth, so I'm looking for the number closest in the nearest hundredth to where these two are the same. So 0.70, 0.71, we're off by 0.03, 0.01. Looks like we're just going to go with 0.7. Okay, that appears to be where the two numbers are the closest. Okay, so my first answer here is going to be 0.70, rounded to the nearest hundredth. Okay. Now again, I could follow that process and find the second one. But as you can see, this is a really tedious process. It's much quicker if you're using a spreadsheet like Excel or Google Sheets. I'm going to show you another feature now, which uses the intersect feature on your calculator. And we're going to use that to find 4 and 5. Okay? So if I go back here and I look at my calculator, right, we go to the graph. We saw that there was a solution between second, already verified that with my table. And I hit enter. So there's my left bound, there's my right bound, right? And if I go ahead, it tells me at the bottom, my intersection, 0.1, when x is 4.3, right? I'm sorry. There we go. Oh, something's gone terribly wrong. Second, trace. It's a little bit different than how it is on the 84. So my left bound, I'm going to go to the left, enter. I'm going to go to the right of the intersection, hit enter, and it should tell me, there we go, intersection, 0.1, 4.302. So I can see that my second solution is 4.3. Okay, so that's how we use a calculator to find the solution. Again, that intersect feature is really useful. Just remember, you have to figure out first what two numbers your solution is between. Essentially, when it says left bound and right bound, it's asking on what interval should I be looking for a solution. All right, I'm going to skip the last example because you got to see the intersect feature right here, and you got to see how to use a table right there. If you have questions, please email me.